less. $400 fucking camera. Bitch.
Hey!
Over a decade.
Hey, that's a yeehaw moment right there.
Here we got the old frame and we got the new frame. And what we're going to do is we're going to mount this new Z-bar ball mount on the new frame. So first thing we need to do is get the location. Now this thing said it had a location tab, but you see there's a slight difference here. There's a cut in this frame here that's not on this one. And I don't think that's a big deal. This doesn't look very good weld from the factory either. But so first thing I'm thinking of doing is we got to get the measurements right. And there's a couple different ways we can do it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and clean this area up so that I might be able to use some tape in here to give me this edge, which will match this edge over here. And it'll give me a good reference point to where this thing is going to go. And I think that's where we're going to start. There's a little bit of metal trash in there. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up with the stone grinder just to get it out of there so we can get some tape, so I can get a good tape template in there to get a good measurement. Now we're going to go ahead and make a tape measurement. I'm going to take it from the edge here over to the edge of the frame, up, and try to get as close to that bracket as possible. You know, obviously I want to be on that bracket if I have to cut it out with a razor blade. But I want something I'll be able to transfer real quick over there. I mean, I can take the measurements with a tape measure, but I find this works a little bit better. So let me move this camera around and get you a little closer. So I got the piece welded in. Don't judge on the welds. I know they're horrible. Absolutely horrible. This I probably should have been TIG welded, but I used my MIG. I just had to turn the heat up real high and get through. But I'm using a 135, which is plenty enough. I mean, the welds look horrible, but I guarantee you one thing: this bitch ain't coming apart. She's a brick house, baby. So on we go. All right, so I went ahead and prepped the panel or the frame rail to be installed. I made the holes a little bit bigger than usual. Instead of 5/16, I want 7/16 on these. I just want to make sure this is a frame rail, so I want to make sure we get a good weld. All right, so where I'm at now is I'm going to put this frame rail in, but none of this stuff over here is attached anymore. And it's attached to this, and I've taken my measurements from here to the front and across in several places. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and take these off, these braces off, and take this whole inner section off. It's going to make it easier for me to get in there with the frame and get everything done. It's also going to make it easier when I install this upper cowl. One of the important items that we need to take off of here is the fender tag. That is the birth certificate of this vehicle, or at least the identification card for this. It tells you everything, all the extras and stuff. It's not as good as the build sheet, which I never found in this car, but it's an important part of this car, and it will go back on the inner fender on the new inner fender. All right, we're going to try to get this fender tag off. These screws probably have not been off since this thing was brand new. I may have to use an impact driver to get them off, or cut them off the back just to make things a little bit easier. May end up doing that. So let me get the impact driver first to see if that'll work. None of y'all have ever used an impact driver before. It's pretty basic. I've used this a lot when I used to work in the motorcycle industry. This is a common piece, but kind of push down on it and turn it. It's spring loaded, and then you bang it with a hammer. Look at that. Look at that. That's one screw coming out. Nice. Okay. Now on the little one. There we go. How about that? I love when a plan comes together, don't you? And I will take this over to my bead blaster and I will blast this, but for now I am putting this on the top of my toolbox where I know it won't get lost. It's pretty rough shape. There it is. Fender tag for the 73 Challenger Rally 340 4-speed. I've got the frame already prepped in that spot to be welded in. So next thing is we're going to weld in a frame rail. It's frame rail welding time. Let's take a look here what we got. So I just started putting up there. We got to go inside and secure it on the inside. Let's see if I can put you all here so you can watch. There you go. Got my sheet metal screws. Bring this up to the holes that are already here from the last time I lined it up. And that's how we're going to line it up this time, by putting it in the same holes. Now, let's get this one. Okay, this one's a little bit off, so we're going to go out front and check that one. Need to move it over a tad. Let's see, we took off that inner structure there. move this over a little bit. There we go. Now, they have a sheet metal screw over here as well in the front. Sheet metal screw where it was the last time, so we make sure we're in the same spot that we were when I had it lined up and measured. I need a new 5/16 socket. Done burned this one up. Alright, let's go see if we're lined up on the back now. We're close. Just a hair off. Maybe I can finagle it by hand. Let's see. This one back here is not tight all the way yet. Let me put you all down here so you can watch. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, I see now. I just need to spread it out a little bit. Gotcha. So let me go get that other sheet metal screw. Okay. Run this one out. Alright, so that's nice and tight there. You can see where it's up against the frame, right here, and over here. The frame is up against that cross member. Just have to use a hammer to bang it in a little bit, and then we're going to weld it in. And then the bottom flange, the bottom, once we get that side welded in, will have to be bent over on the bottom of that cross member and welded as well. So we're sitting pretty good. Let me go ahead and run this bolt in up in the front, because that's this is where the K member bracket goes. There we go. Now, that frame is in the position it's supposed to be in. You can see the tab is right here where it goes up, where I cut it off. And you can see where that Z-bar ball mount is, and how close it is to the firewall and how close it is to the frame. So that's the reason why we welded it in before we put the frame rail in, because as you can see, it would be a little tough to get in there now. All right, we have frame weldage. That's what we're doing. Welding the frame. All right, so we're getting ready to weld the last bit of this frame rail. This will be the left front frame rail. It's 3 out of the 4 frame rails on this entire car, and the 4th one will also be replaced. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Hopefully I get a better welding from the top after I clean my welding. take the screw out the other side, switch this around. Switch that around, take the sheet metal screw out this side. Don't drop the sheet metal screw into the frame. It's one of my paranoid things. I hate to see something rattling around if I get this card on. Alright, here we go. Welding this hole shut. Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho. Oh yeah. That's the way we like it. I'd say she's not coming out. Yeah, buddy. I like it. I like it a lot. You got a little bit of a hole there yet. Let's go ahead and clean that up. All right. That is frame rail welded in. I like it a lot. Now, we move on to bigger and better things. Every piece that you do is a piece closer to being done. And that's what we like. On this episode of Project Challenger, we went ahead and finished welding in the Z-bar mount on the frame and welded the frame into the car. And I went ahead and seam sealed the lower cowl assembly around the vents there, and we'll hit that with some paint later. But I want to thank everybody for coming in and checking in. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and please come back. And if you need to have any questions, comments, down below, or email me at motoman172@hotmail.com. Peace. Next video, we're actually going to be doing something different with this upper cowl assembly. So make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, because we're going to do something that I've never done before, and some of y'all have never done before, so we're going to go through this together.